to another, edition of me reacting to the midseason grades of Locked On Avalanche. At this point, shout out to Locked On Avalanche, because they did comment under my videos. I appreciate that a lot. You guys don't know how much I appreciate it. I just want to shout them out real quick. I can't believe it. Thank you so much for commenting under my video. It's a pleasure. I watch you guys. Basically, it's been a daily routine of me, watching you guys talk about the Avalanche now, especially this season. As I've grown more into an Avalanche fan than ever before. I've watched you guys, and it's been great. So I appreciate it. And I did do the offensive guys mid-season grades, and now I want to do the D-men and the goalies, as we're gonna find out what they think. Defenders is a bit more tough and a bit more tricky than the offensive guys, because sometimes you don't really get to see the full impact that they have, because they don't show their impact on the score sheet. Well, I guess they do, because they try to keep the opponent's goal total at 0. So I guess that's where you see the impact that they have, but you don't really get to see a lot of it. Usually the offensive guys are getting more praise, and if you don't really watch the games, it's easy to look over all the work the defensemen are doing. So, but I've watched a lot of games, so I think I have a pretty good idea about where this is going. I'm very excited. Again, shout out to Locked On Avalanche. If you haven't subscribed to them, at this point, what are you doing? What are you doing if you haven't subscribed to them yet? We're going to wrap this up. I might do more reactions like this in the future, as these boys are they have perfect chemistry. I love them. I love watching them, and I love reacting to them. And as my last video was the most views I've ever gotten on my channel, maybe I'll do more of this. I enjoy this. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Again, shout out to Locked On Avalanche. All the videos that I'm going to be reacting to, I think I'm only going to be reacting to this one because it's pretty long, and they're just putting the demon and the goalies in one video. So yeah, so let's get going, shall we? And let's see what Chris and Kyle, those two young studs over here, let's see what grades they give the demon. Let's go.
Defenseman and Alexander Georgiev. We'll start right off at the top, sir. Why not? Get Makar and Taves out of the way.
Makar and Taves.
Which one? We're gonna do Kale first.
Kale.
Let's do Kale.
All right, Kale. Kale Makar, A for me. Not an A plus. He could have been better in some games this season, but definitely an A. He is one of the best, if not the best, defenseman in the league. Love him. Absolute beast on the blue line, puck handling, skating, whatever you want, he can do. He won the hardest shot competition, which I didn't think was possible. I thought someone else would have won it. This is after the All-Star game that I'm recording this. So yeah, it's A to A plus. But I'd go with an A because he was injured, and then he kind of struggled a bit to get himself. Well, not struggled. I mean, for Kale, struggling is like a point per game, but you could feel he was kind of getting back into it. But A to A plus, you can have no complaints with Kale Makar.
Kale, all right, what do you got for Mr. Makar?
I feel like Kale is an A.
Yeah,
I know it'd be
Kyle. We understand each other, man. We understand each other.
He hasn't had we've talked about it on the show. Hasn't had that all hail Kale moment. He doesn't feel like he's 100%
exactly.
yet. So
Exactly.
Flat A, but I mean he's
By the way, I promise I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this before. I have always watched their episodes until they get into the mid-season grades, so that I want to do it. Like I wanted to do it, I wanted to react to it live on here. So yeah, I haven't watched any of this. So yeah,
B plus.
Absolutely.
A to A plus. Yeah.
44 games played, 12 goals, 46 assists, 58 points. Come on now, that's for a defenseman. Like,
Amazing, man.
I think
It's
sometimes
amazing.
people are just expecting him to be ungodly night in and night out. For the most part, he is.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe
exactly.
he hasn't had that all hail Kale moment, but those are special.
No complaints.
Those are special
Yeah, no
moments
complaints.
that
You can't
when
have
they
any
happen,
complaints.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there it is. But they don't. It's just the nature of the
Let me
sport.
see
Doesn't
if I
happen
can
every single night.
have better.
But what he is doing
Ah.
is continuing to be the greatest defenseman.
Not a better quality than 720p.
Yeah, and before everybody, I hear everybody on
I'm
YouTube
kidding.
on their keyboard. I'm only giving him a flat A because this is the first year I can remember watching Cale Makar lapses. And you've
Yes.
never seen that before. Like, it's usually we tout his hockey IQ, his defensive positioning. He's made some bad
My bad, guys.
hockey moment decisions. And
Yes.
This is the first year it's been noticeable.
Exactly.
It's why he's
And yeah, I feel like that break when he got that knee injury against the Jets, I think it was in that Jets game in Winnipeg. He got hit and then kind of slid into the boards with his knees. It kind of made him, like, after that injury, you can see he was hesitating sometimes, but he's getting a groove on him again. And, you know, he's still amazing. He's still one of the best, if not, like I said, if not the best defender in the NHL. So you really can't have any complaints with Kale.
he has an A, but my goodness, it's still Cale Makar.
Yes.
So let's
Exactly.
not lose our mind
Exactly,
over
Kyle.
that. It's a flat A.
Agree
but
100%.
He will be an A+ by the end of the year, and we'll be relying on him in the playoffs.
For sure.
And then, you know, his line mate or pairing mate, whatever you want to call it, Devon Taves.
A-. A- to A for me. Same as Makar, he's been on defense. I mean, talk about a lockdown defender. He is essentially the Kawhi Leonard of the NHL. He is locking down any offensive guy that comes at him. When they played the Leafs, it was so evident. He locked down the first line of Matthews. Well, they changed it up. Toronto, my bad. They changed it up mid-game, and then they put out the Matthews, Nylander, and Marner line, and they still couldn't get it done because Kale and Devon Taves have been doing such a good job. You know, Devon Taves doesn't have as many points as Kale, but he is the perfect addition to Kale, I feel like. That is a perfect D-man pairing. Yeah, A- to A.
He is 4th on the team in scoring.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's a little bit surprising to me. Because,
That is surprising.
Not
He has
his
scored a lot
forte.
this year.
I mean, he can score, but not at the level like Nathan McKinnon. But the drop off is noticeable between Cale Makar is at 58 points, and he's 3rd on the team in scoring. Devon Taves is 4th on the team in scoring,
And then probably like
he's down to
Rantanen and
29.
McKinnon.
That's a huge drop off. And when you
Jesus.
have 2 defensemen at 3 and 4 on your team in scoring,
Not
typically
good.
what you want, but it's
Nope.
needed for now anyway.
It is
And
needed.
Taves continues to, just like Cale Makar, just continues to do what he's doing. So is Devon Taves. He's got an A from me as well.
Yeah,
Oh.
and that's another
Yep.
flat A. He's playing really, really well, and keep in mind this is off a brand new contract, so he's not relaxing.
For me, what I'll say is I'll give him an A- because I do realize sometimes you do notice a difference between like a Devon Taves and a Cale Makar, and especially a Sammy G, a Sam Girard. Sammy G is a master at breakouts. Like when we break out of the Avalanche zone, when the Avs break out of their own zone, Sammy G is a master at that. Like he keeps it calm, keeps it collected, and then he passes it up to the players that he wants to, and has just in general a good breakout game. Devon Taves not always, but he struggles a bit getting the puck out of the zone or to the forward that he wants to give it to. So that is kind of a damp I have on him. Again, he's still amazing. I still love him to death. That's still the best D-man pairing in the NHL in my opinion. Cale Makar and Devon Taves. So yeah, no, but still, yeah, that's why I only gave him an A-. Only A- to A, like I said. But yeah, no, he's been amazing this season. He's been amazing.
To go cruise control, he's looking
Cruise
great.
control.
That's a flat A line.
Totally agree. All right, we got those 2 out of the way. Let's just jump in a quick break here, and then we'll get to the rest of the
Going
defenders
to the break.
and Mr. Alexander Georgiev. We'll do that next.
All
And then
right.
we
I'm
will
gonna-
do, let's see,
I
Sammy
think-
G
Oh, yeah.
and Eric Johnson. So out of those two, which one would you
EJ.
like to tackle here first?
Oh, Jack. Let's
Or
go
what,
with
what did I say? Did I say
Eric.
Eric Johnson?
Eric
Oh
Johnson.
my god.
JJ.
It'll be Jack.
I can't believe I said Eric Johnson. I just want him back here.
I do call him Eric Johnson. So I think I did call him Eric Johnson. I don't know.
We've
Please
done
come
it
back.
for
Joe
years.
Johnson.
So
Please come back.
let's
Wow.
let's get Jack.
All right.
Let's get Jack out of the way because I feel like this is a quick.
That is such a hard one for me. I mean, B- to C+. He's just been good for what he is. He's been nothing special, but he hasn't been terrible, and he's done some good things offensively. Sometimes some stuff where you say, "Oh, come on, Jack," not Jack, Joe Johnson. Come on, man. Come on, Johnny boy. Come on, man. We don't need that, but that's the risk of having a player like him. But yeah, he's good physical defender. B- to C+.
Okay. What do you got?
I feel like Jack has been C-, almost D.
Oh shit.
What? Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm surprised by
Go
that
ahead.
too.
Somebody who we're not going to be giving a grade to because he hasn't played enough games. But
Malinsky.
Sam Malinsky's
Yeah.
taking your job, and it's
Malinsky has
usually-
been great.
if
Malinsky
you
has
can
been
lose your
really good.
job, that means you're not doing too good at your job. And there has been, yes, he's been serviceable. He's been great. He's been wonderful. He's a great presence out there. But the Avalanche can do better and are going to be doing better and will do better with a completely healthy, 100% team. And
Okay, but I'm gonna
He hasn't
finish talking.
been a game changer. He hasn't had an oh my god moment. I mean,
Never
it's
does though.
yeah.
Never
But
does though.
I don't
That's
need
not-
a pylon out there. You
So-
need a
so-
little bit.
Okay. So what I will say about this is like, okay, he's been serviceable, and that for me is a C. But he's been a bit more than serviceable for me. He has done some good things over in some games. Has scored some goals. Has been key defensively sometimes. So that's why I gave him a C+ to a B-. For me, serviceable is a C. Of course, we could do better, but towards my expectations for Joe Johnson, it's not high. So for what he's done, it's a C+ to B- for me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
There's been stretches where you need a little bit of a help, a little bit of a push, and yes, he's there. And I'm not throwing him a D- like F category, trade him now, but this Avalanche team, there's been times they need to rely on somebody to just hold the fort and push, and he's not. What he gives you is what he's going to give you.
Yeah.
And you just need a little bit more, and there's been times they needed anybody, and
Sure.
Malinsky could give you so much more.
That's
And
true.
I think
I love
that's
Malinsky.
where like the thing with Malinsky is like, you know, all that stuff that you were just saying about like what you want out of Jack Johnson is not what he gives you, and that's not what they're expecting him to give you. Malinsky, it's looking like he could potentially do that. You know, you're saying like a guy that just needs like a little bit of like a push. He's not out there when they need that stuff. Like at the end of the game, like that's not his role. Again, I kind of agree with you in the fact that you know, Malinsky is like coming for your job, and next year he will have it.
He should have his job. I'm not gonna lie. He's just a better defender. Malinsky's been so good. He reminds me a lot of Cale Makar. He reminds me a lot of Cale.
But we'll see how the rest of this season plays out. But for me, I never thought I'd say this, and this might be the biggest discrepancy we've had in grades.
Don't do
between
it.
one player. I'm giving Jack Johnson a B+ right now.
Whoa. Okay. I thought I was high with my C+ to B- or B- to C+. What? B+?
Giving him a B+. I think he has been great this year for what he does. I don't want to say he's great in comparison.
Okay, that's what I was talking about too, with the expectations I have for Joe Johnson. He's done more than I expected of him, and yeah, of course, in his overall, if you just rank them on overall performance for the team, obviously he'd be in the C- to D+ range. But what I expect of him, he's done more than what I expected of him. So that's why for me, a C+ to a B-. But these are the experts, so don't listen to me. I'm just out here, having my opinion.
To the other defensemen on this team, like a Cale Makar or a Devon Taves, for what you need Jack Johnson to do. How many times in the past have we just gone, just wanted to like rip our hair out of our heads?
Yeah,
because he's
yeah.
he's just making stupid decisions on defense.
Yeah,
he's not doing that this year. I think he is playing very solid defense. He's
solid,
got a
yes.
Pretty good slap shot when he leans into that. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities to rip that, but when he does, he's firing it.
He has scored some goals.
Not there for his scoring. I am very happy with what Jack Johnson is doing this year. Again, next year probably won't be here, and because of what Sam Malinsky is doing, and Sam Malinsky is doing all those things that you said, and that's what the Avalanche.
Malinsky has been incredible.
Their defense.
If I would give Sam Malinsky a grade, it would be B to B+. Maybe even B+ to A-, because what I expected of him was not much, and he's just been unreal. He's like Sammy G and Byram fused into one. It's kind of interesting.
Jack Johnson doesn't give that to you all the time. Malinsky can. So that
yes,
guy
he can.
that
Malinsky
can
is amazing.
Be out there and just another dangerous weapon.
Malinsky's
Malinsky
amazing.
Can do. Jack Johnson's not that. He's not that dangerous weapon.
Wow, why am I yawning so much? Jeez.
But do I have confidence now when Jack Johnson's out there that he'll give you a solid shift of defense? Yeah, I do.
For sure.
And I did not think that was going to happen when they brought him back in. I'm happy with him.
Same.
Very happy with him.
Well,
I'm really looking forward to the conversation on this one. It might be in two camps. Maybe in two camps. People are probably going to agree with you, and there's going to be some.
I'm more in the middle of both. I can see both points. I'm like smack dab in the middle of it with my grade, so I get where they're coming from though. From their points of view, it makes sense. Their grades make sense from their point of view.
Agree with me. I don't know if anybody's like towing the line, but honestly, how many shows have we done following a game where we're like, Jack Johnson doesn't know what the heck he's doing out there? It hasn't happened.
Yeah, no,
it
not
hasn't
a lot.
happened this year.
But again,
we're halfway through the season. I'm fine with it yet. If it happens, it's happened somewhere in the 50th game of the year. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I remember the losing streaks and where nothing was going right, and you needed a jolt, and you needed something else, and you know what you're getting out of Jack Johnson is it.
Right. Yeah. So if you need a jolt, why are you turning to Jack Johnson? Turn to Nathan McKinnon. Turn to Mikko Rantanen. Turn to Cale Makar. Like those are the guys you're turning to. Jack Johnson. If you got to turn to Jack Johnson, you're in trouble.
Well, then why
You know what I mean?
why do we have you out there?
You're managing the game. He is throughout the course of the game. You're out there to manage it, to be the third line.
I mean, the problem is with that argument. The problem is that you can't have 4 lines and 3 defenseman lines full of like guys who can just flat out perform the whole game. You just can't have that. Otherwise, we'd be Stanley Cup champions, like 5 times Stanley Cup champions. You can't have 4 lines that are just amazing. Like you just can't. No team has 4 lines that are absolutely amazing and that give 100%, like that have as much of an impact as the first D-man pair or as the first line offense. They don't have the same impact. And Joe Johnson is that kind of player. He's just a solid defender. You put him out there to go on defense and be a defender, and you don't need him to have a jolt. He's just a solid defender in the NHL. And like Chris said, when you need to look to him to give you something like a spark offensively or something like that, then you don't have the right guy, obviously. And Malinsky is obviously that kind of player that can do that, but I don't expect Joe Johnson to do that. And I expect the third and fourth line for the Avs just to be there and not to get scored on. That's what I think when I look at, well, now the third line in, I think last game against the Devils, it was Parise, and it was Zach Parise, it was Lehkonen, and it was Johansson. They did a pretty good job, I think. And yeah, and you want your third line to kind of pressure it a bit, but like not too much, and it's just like manageable. Like Chris said, managing. He's a management player, and for what he is, for the thing he is, he's doing a great job. So, yeah.
For defensive pairing, that's why you're out there. End of story. Period.
Yeah.
You're not out there to do any. You're not out there for us to rely on you. And again, I'm agreeing with you in the point where it's like, hey, looks like a guy that's coming up behind you could be that guy in some capacity.
He is that
so
guy.
Be nice when
he is that guy.
Because now you're just that much more of a dangerous team. But for what they're getting out of Jack Johnson, just to manage the game for the 12 minutes he's out there, 13 minutes out there, zero complaints. Where I'm at. Can't take it away from me. Don't try to change my mind. Okay. Sammy G, there's another one.
Sammy G. I love Sammy G. He's one of my favorite players to watch on this Avalanche team. Every time he's on the ice, he just does those little things. And I played hockey. I'm 19 right now, and I've played hockey since I was 7. So I've played hockey for 12 years. So I see those little instances, like that cut back to avoid the forechecker and passing it up the boards or something like that. I just love Sammy G. For me, B to B plus.
What do you got for
B to B plus
so far this year?
I feel like he's right on that line, but I'm giving him a C plus.
What?
Mm-hmm.
He's been good. He hasn't been bad. He's been serviceable. He's been just fine. And I think his skill does not come up in the points total. It's the drive,
for sure.
It's the transitions. It's keeping the play alive and pinning the puck in deep. So, I like what he adds and his extra little wrinkle of defensive coverage. I like Sammy G for that. So I'm giving him a C plus, right on the line of a B minus.
And I think that's what I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him the B minus. And even taking into
they're hating on my guy Sammy G, man. Oh, man. I mean, I do kind of see it. And Sammy G isn't like Miles Wood or anything, but from what I've expected of him, and again, he came back from his issues mentally. He was in the player assistance program, and coming back from it, he's just been a joy to watch for me. So for me, it's a B to B plus. For me, it's a B, more a B though. So yeah.
Count him going into the player assistance program. Not that factors into his grade or anything.
Of course not. No. I'm not saying that, but you just have to. I don't know how you say it. You just have to, consider it. It doesn't go into his grade like, oh yeah, we'll give him a break since he's had that, but obviously he came back from it, and yeah. I don't know. He's just been good to me. I just have a different opinion than these guys on him, I guess.
Coming back from that, I thought he's looked good. He's
looked
a guy
good, yeah.
That great transition guy.
Transition.
Short, he's undersized.
Oh my god.
I like watching him play defense.
I do too.
I feel like when
Unreal.
He's defending a guy and someone is shifting and hockey stopping, going the other direction, he sticks with them.
Yeah, he has such fast feet.
His
fast
reaction
feet, quick
time
feet.
is great in that capacity. So the scoring part of it, he's never been that guy. He's pretty good with assists, which is funny that he doesn't have at least a few more goals because he does take a good amount of shots towards net for a defender, but they just never seem to get through traffic when it comes to
they always get
shots
blocked.
For whatever reason. But I think he's the Sam Girard of a couple years ago that everybody just wanted to just rush out the door, and I can understand why during that time period.
I wasn't like I said, I wasn't an Avalanche fan during that time, so I don't know what they're talking about right there, but yeah, I just wanted to say that. So I can't really comment on that.
He's overcome that stuff, and I think he's been a really solid defenseman in what they've needed.
He's been good. He's been good
for this season so far. So
And all the OG Locked On Avalanche fans, the everydayers that go back years. Sammy
Sorry,
G,
I don't go back years.
official player of the Locked On podcasts.
that's right.
Like
he was the favorite.
Yep,
He was the favorite.
guy.
Yep. The last two here for the defense, Josh Manson, and we'll do Bo Byram as well. We'll start with
God.
Manson.
Oh, Josh Manson, B to B plus again. Maybe they might grade it higher, but for me, it's that again, B to B plus. I mean, offensively, he's been pretty good. I mean, oh no. Okay, I gotta reject my statement and go to a B minus to B because his penalties, they are, of course, you always, when you have a player like Josh Manson, you expect that, because it is Josh Manson. But yeah, no, he's been good. He's been a solid defender. He's scored a lot. He's been scoring a lot. It is insane. Like, his wristers are he just creates chances offensively. He's just a really solid player. B minus to B.
I think he's been really good this year, Kyle.
I
think
do
he's
too.
been really good.
I'm
More
giving him a B
leaning
minus.
towards a B, by the way. Leaning more towards a B.
Okay. He's got 44
Give him-
games played, six goals,
I'm just gonna go B.
11 assists for 17 points. Let me open up his player card even more because I wonder where those 6.
I like how Kyle. What I noticed is Kyle always has his hands, like in that place on the camera. He always leans back, kind of like pokes his chest out, and has his hands in front of him. That's so funny. I always like watching him. It's like it's like it makes me do it myself, like behind the screen. It makes me do it. It's really funny. Shout out to Kyle, man. By the way, follow these guys on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Follow them. Follow me too at Rafael Broncedes. So follow me as well. Follow these guys. I mean, amazing dudes. Listen to them almost every day now. So yeah, follow them.
And for him, as far as career high, so he had 7 back in 17-18, and that's his career high. So he's got 6. So he's close to that. Yeah, he's giving you a little bit more of a scoring touch this year. He's playing really good defense. Would you give him a B minus?
Yes.
I'm gonna go B plus, hovering on A minus. I think he's
Sheesh.
been great this year defensively. Couple of mistakes with penalties.
Penalties,
some
yep.
untimely
Penalties
by him.
High stakes.
You can clean that stuff up.
Especially those high stakes. He does get a lot of high stakes. He does get a lot of high stakes.
But from his defensive play,
Not a lot of tripping penalties. More like high stakes.
I think he's been great, and he's throwing in a little bit of offense here and there, which is awesome.
And the B minus, it was a weird start to the year. He finally got in gear and has been great. Like, my only complaint with Manson, yes, he has great. His defensive coverage is great. The plays he makes are great.
Yeah.
But he's very win or go home. Like, the moves and decisions.
Oh,
he
yeah.
makes, it's either going to land or it's going to be a problem. But
Yeah.
they land more than they're
Yeah.
a problem. But when
That's
they
true,
are,
yeah.
they're usually crucial and they're
One
highlight reel.
example of that, it's not Josh Manson, but it is Cale Makar in last night's game against the New Jersey Devils. It was when he pinched the boards, and then gave up a 2-on-1, which led to a goal by Timo Meyer on the rush. So yeah, those are the kind of moves that they're talking about, in terms of, win or go home. But yeah, Josh Manson is always he's they've worked out more. They've worked out more than they haven't this year. So yeah, I agree.
As you're rewatching the goal scored on, there's Manson skating. So I give him the B minus there, but he's cleaned it up from the beginning of the year. He's become
has.
essential, and I love his play, and he'll probably finish the year with a much higher grade.
Yeah, no,
For
he's
sure.
been very committed to it this year. So
Very good.
It's really nice to see. And then Bo Byram.
Bo. No, I loved Bo Jackson. I obviously I didn't grow up, watching him, but now watching his games back and like some of his highlight tapes, I love Bo Jackson. I just loved the name Bo in general. But Bo Byram, kind of yeah, I don't know how you say it. He's been Bo. I like Bo Byram. He's a super nice dude. I'm sure he's a super nice dude. I don't know him personally, but oh man, some of these plays that he's done this year, ooh, rough. The hockey IQ definitely needs to be worked. I mean, can you even work on a hockey IQ? Can you even work on a hockey IQ? I don't think you can, but C plus. He's been good on some stretches. Again, a good transition player like Sammy G. Good shot, good passing, good hands, good skating. Hockey IQ just, defense also pretty good. But then again, it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Good old Bo.
C to C+.
41 games played, 6-6. 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points.
Interesting.
For Mr. Bo Byram. What do you got here?
He was out with an injury too, I think, during the middle of the season. I think he was out with an injury too.
Interesting one.
This is going to...
Oh, he's going to give him a bad grade. I can tell. I can tell when Kyle, like... Wait, hold on. Let me be back. He says this. Yeah, see, he kind of... And then I just know he's gonna give him a bad grade.
This is going to a D+.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. Oh yeah, no, C. I'll give him a C. I'll give him a C.
That bad, really?
Yeah.
Bo has regressed.
He has. Sadly.
It's just, and it's a regression coupled with bad. Like the penalties, there was a stretch that it was every game.
Oh yeah,
like a delay of game penalty.
Oh my God! Yes, I completely forgot about that.
What can he be? Can you imagine Kale and Bo on the same team? It's been a regression in every single facet of the game.
Yeah,
and it's just not. It's not there. And
I feel like it's been since his injury. I know before he's already regressed a bit, but after his injury, it was like extreme. How I noticed it. How I noticed his impact on the game just completely going away and just doing bad things, so
fully believe he could take a step up, but for right now at the midseason point, this has been a big time step back year for Bo and Byron.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Crazy because it seems like Bo has not taken the spot of Sam Girard of the defenseman of the Colorado Avalanche that is the whipping boy for the Colorado Avalanche fan base, but he's
the whipping boy,
and
yeah,
I think a lot of it has to do with kind of like decision making and play. And there was, a time early in the season where, how I'm saying, like I'm pretty confident with Jack Johnson out there. You didn't have that with Bo. It was just he could look.
Oh my God, that I remember when Joe Johnson and Bo Byram were on the same D line together. Oh God, that was horrific. That hockey was not good, trust me.
On a shift and then followed up with what the heck was he thinking there?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know.
Hockey IQ has been bad.
Early season, got to work things out. Which again, I don't jump to conclusions too early in a season. But this roller coaster of a season that it was for the Avalanche earlier in the year seems to be continuing for Byram. I still love the guy. I think he can pull himself out of this if he can just stay healthy and just
for sure
play more consistent.
For sure, he just needs to turn a corner.
So I mean, the grade that I would give him right now, I'm in the C-, even C area, because I don't think he's been god awful. But has he been what they expected him to be?
No.
Definitely not. And I even think he would tell you that. So it's kind of where I'm at with Bo Byron right now. I'm interested to see how the second half of the season goes for him.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he get his first goal in that Islanders game where they got the road record? I think that might have been.
Remember, maybe.
It's just
Yeah.
the
Mm,
slow start,
could be.
and then everything
Could
putting
be.
together has just been weird and not right. But again, I agree with you. Like he can be better.
Oh, sure.
He's just gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see. One of the more interesting players I'm looking forward to watching, like I said, for the second half
Yep.
of the season.
Yes.
And then we'll wrap
Big
all
boy
this
Bo.
up with Mr. Alexander Georgiev. We're not going to do any other goalie because it's really not worth it.
Yeah.
Prosvetov, I think, played in 10 or 11 games so far. You can't really grade
I think even less.
him on that. This is
And
all
Annunen
Georgiev.
also.
It's been a ride. So
Oh, okay, yeah. Georgiev. Oh, Georgiev. It's kind of like a Bo Byram. I'm not like a Bo Byram. I'm giving him a C minus. Yeah, it's been a tough ride for Georgiev. An under .900 save percentage. Not what you want in your first goalie who's basically playing every single game. Yeah, it's C minus. C minus, yeah.
far this year, Kyle.
C minus.
I don't know where you stand with him grade wise, but what do you got?
C, flat C. And
I'm with you,
honestly,
man.
Understand that.
and there is no justifiable
I understand
stat
that.
that says he should be a C. He should be a D. But the man, he gets in there, he'll let in 3, then that's it. And the Avs have to work around that.
Yeah.
It's
The comebacks this year have been absolutely amazing. I mean, I've enjoyed watching. Well, it's like a kind of love-hate thing where you're like, oh my God, we're down 3-0 against Dallas at their own rink, against Toronto, against Dallas again. And they just come back, inspired by their first-line performance. But Georgiev, after giving up, those goals, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not letting in anything else. I'm sick that he was like, obviously I love Georgiev, but I think Stuart Skinner from the Oilers deserved to be an all-star way more than Georgiev did. So yeah, no, that's just my opinion though. But I like Georgiev. I think he's kind of picked it up more. So yeah,
most toxic relationship in the game of hockey, Georgiev and the Colorado Avalanche. But he lets up and gives up, and
Yep.
the Avs work to make it work. It's terrible. It's a soap opera,
yeah,
but he's a C.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's on him, some of it's on the defense not playing well in front of him, and just letting the opponent get 40 shots on goal on him. It's not solely his fault this C, but
for sure.
some of it is obviously, and it goes back to those shots that you just, how many times you're just watching a broadcast and someone's like, I bet he'd like to have that one back. We've heard that so many. How we're not hearing what the heck was Jack Johnson doing out there. We're hearing Georgiev would have loved to have that one back.
Yeah.
So
we've heard that a lot this season from
one of
Moj.
those things where it's just like you
Big
don't
boy
know what you're
Moj.
gonna get from him.
I love Moj.
And every shot is an adventure. So he started off the season hot as can be, cooled off, and it has been a wild ride since then.
Oh yeah,
he is right down the middle of the sea,
man.
because he will look Vezina-like in a game, and then followed up that he looks like he's an AHL backup.
Yeah.
And I think the hot take, that's Nathan McKinnon drafted him in this All-Star thing because he knew nobody else would. It's almost like playing Park League. It's like Park League basketball when you like pick your brother.
Oh, come on. No, but that is kind of true. That is kind of true. It's harsh, but it's kind of true. It's kind of true.
Like, I know everybody else. He's my little brother. Nobody's going to draft him. So you do him a favor. I think Nate picked him because he didn't want him to be opening an envelope at the end of the broadcast.
Well, the way that it worked for the draft is you had to have both of your goalies by the 8th round. So they were not gonna the envelope thing couldn't have been a goalie. But I get what you're saying. It would have been interesting to see if he did not take him for McKinnon's team, who was going to take him. I didn't even think about that of where he would have fell, because that's an interesting. I mean, you have really good goalies in this thing. If it wasn't to McKinnon's team, the free fall might have happened.
It would have.
Interesting. All right. That will wrap it up for today, everybody. Fire away in the comment section with any of your grades. And what do you think of Team McKinnon? You think they're going to do okay? Anybody that you wish that he did take?
They did pretty good. Well, against Team McDavid, they just came back at the end. I mean, it is an all-star game, so
Other than Sidney Crosby, let us know. All right, that is going to wrap it up for the week.
They're going to wrap it up.
So we'll be back on Monday. We'll have a show for Monday. Like I said,
now they're just going to talk about their shows. Again, thank you so much to Locked on Avalanche for commenting under my video. I appreciate you guys, and obviously I'm reacting to you guys again. Maybe I'll react to you guys in the future, you know. If there's an interesting headline, maybe I'll react to you guys again. Well, we'll see. Maybe you know, I guess we'll just see. You know, we'll see what's gonna go down. Again, shout out to them. Follow them on Twitter. Anything they have. Subscribe to them if you haven't yet. Obviously, here they have their Twitter handles right here. I'm also gonna be leaving them down in the description below. This has been Raphael for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing and blessed day. See you guys. Have a good weekend, week, whatever. Have a good morning, night, lunch, whatever you're doing right now. Have a good night. Good night. Jesus Christ. Have a good time. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.